today's program, Steve doesn't understand verisimilitude. Dungeoneer rides the highest horse. BDubs can't grasp that the BroSR neither invented nor rediscovered fire. J. Scott Garibay is stunningly oblivious. Again. And Mephistopheles better not be too sensitive, because he is getting dragged like he is hooked to the back of a redneck's car in a dirt track race. That's right, folks, it is once again that magical time of the week where we explore all the various stupidities of the TTRPG world and argue about games as if the arguments matter here on Intelligence as a Dump Stat. I'm Daniel, your chauffeur on this little drive through Dum Dum Land, and the channel is Driving and Dragons. So buckle up, because while I'm suffering in the Alabama sun, our hobby continues to suffer in the dark sun. Guys, there is a bit in the way of channel announcements this go round. First off, it is stream week, so that means both a brand new 7 keys to effective TTRPG design video and a guest to cover that topic. One small difference, the general public will get the video on Tuesday instead of Wednesday, and the stream will be on Wednesday instead of Thursday. My channel members already have the video. It went live last night, but because I have an event to attend on Thursday, you all get the video and the stream a day early. This week it is Alexander Macris, creator of Adventure or Conquer Kings, who will be joining me, so don't miss it. I'm still driving for 1,000 subs, folks, so please share this video with your friends and in your feeds and servers and whatnot, and encourage them to click that button. Don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff like share, hype, etc. And remember that the comments section is always lively on these weekly commentary videos. So join in on the fun. That said, time to get stupid. We start our journey through midwintery on Facebook with a man posting a meme that shows a fundamental flaw in basic GM principles. While the imbeciles over at the BroSR would have you believe that one-to-one timekeeping is the only correct way to play, and they're dead wrong in that regard, they are correct then that key elements of realistic, immersive game worlds is consistent timekeeping. The world has to keep moving in a fashion other than making revolutions around the PCs. So when a DM posts adjustments and modifications are much easier than time limits and hooks it to a meme stating, "Let your players have fun doing side quests and leveling up, you can always level up the other bad guys," it displays a level of bad GM idiocy that must be chastised. I'm paraphrasing that meme. Come on, guys. If a meme takes 8 lines of text to deliver its message, it is clearly neither funny nor effective. Anyway, here's why this is mind-numbingly moronic. No, you don't have to tie your game to a calendar and tell the players that that in the 2 weeks between sessions, the world will burn around them. Stop time is perfectly fine. The game world is only active while the players are in session. But it is not perfectly fine for the game world to pause while the PCs goof off in-game. There's a real threat your players should take seriously. The orc army that camps out 3 days away from the city for 8 months because they stop their march anytime your players decide they want to go find the local witch woman's missing cat or clean rats out of the local lord's basements. I mean, why should they take that seriously? You can't really develop effective tension when the rampaging air elemental stops tornadoing his way through the countryside to wait on the PCs to track down 5 or 6 bounties offered by the local sheriff. This is just bad game master play. Your world has to keep moving without the players, and there have to be in-game consequences for ignoring that world around them. A lot of narrative GMs, and I mean good narrative GMs, not the theater kids superhero nonsense, like to get on X and act like verisimilitude is just a simulationist nonsense word. But there is no such thing as an enduring long-term campaign without it. Of course, I mentioned the BroSR was right about something, so that means that they will take this entire video as evidence that I have decided they are right about everything, before saying something really stupid about grocery store layouts. So it is time to turn the sights on them. Dungeoneer returns to intelligence as a dump stat with his characteristic chest pigeon pride and self-aggrandizing misread of the facts at hand. You see, unlike that forgettable minor league bro from last week's show, Dungeoneer got called up to the numbskull major leagues with his allegedly successful Umbros game. I say his, but who can tell, since anyone can referee anything, anytime they want to, whenever they like to, but like any true bro, he just claims credit for anything that he can list for the 5 people reading his Substack. Anyway, I digress. Dungeoneer was crowing this week about how his personal table has the kind of problems with too many players to organize that you only see in big conventions. I mean, he gets the kind of attention that tens of thousands are spent on to generate at Gen Con every year. That's the magic of his super elite BroSR game play brown stain 1-to-1 IQ nonsense. He has 9 players. Damn, Gen Con better watch out. Dungeoneer will take up all their sponsors with numbers like that. While it is impressive that he got 9 people to buy into BroSR nonsense, he apparently hasn't heard about the ubiquitous GM shortage. I hate to tell you there, Dungeoneer, but most of us turn away players from our tables by the dozens. If I wanted to, I could have a 20-player game running in less than a week. Hell, I could probably do it in less than a day if I would stoop to using a VTT. Just the height of BroSR masturbatory nonsense. Of course, the aforementioned masturbatory nonsense led to the input of the chief stroker himself, BDubs. Now, BDubs usually keeps to posting alt-right nonsense like an edgy teenager who just finished his first Andrew Tate course on how to join the Hitler Youth, but he did poke his head out to claim some unearned credit this week. This guy Brian pointed out that Dungeoneer crowing about how he had his game separated into multiple sessions to handle the numbers was simply him reinventing split parties, something that is in no way new or even something that ever much fell out of practice, and BDubs has to jump in with the bro shtick. Oh, BroSR D&D is just this thing I've heard of maybe being done once before in the past, but I never have done it, so I'll snipe at the bros for the games I'll never get invited to. Yeah, because that's what it is. I'm just waiting for BDubs to announce that the BroSR has started using these plastic figures you drop dice into that rolls them out into a tray, and then when someone mentions a dice tower, he'll try to claim that no one ever used dice towers before the BroSR rediscovered them. I've said it a million times. There are several BroSR guys I like and enjoy talking to from time to time. Many of them are very good sports about me pointing out that they set records for lowest IQ while still capable, still having the capacity to type out an X-post. But I absolutely detest the BroSR as an organization, a movement, and a philosophy. It is utter trash. You know what? I need a palate cleanser. It's time to take a break. Grab a beverage, maybe a snack. Sit down with a good book like Corvid Codex Volume 1. I can decompress and remind my brain what English words arranged in a fashion that actually makes sense looks like again, with 7 fantastic pulp short stories to choose from written by 6 fantastic TTRPG authors. I can look over the fine details in the amazing page art by Rob Necronomicon, or I can check out the awesome cover by Patio Cakes. I can actually do that in my gobsmacked t-shirt that I picked up from Patty's Fourth Wall site to celebrate White Dwarf Summer. You should do that when you get a chance. Our boy has been raising money for the amazing preborn charity with, some really cool threads to wear on these blistering hot days. So check them both out. The links are in the description below. Speaking of the blistering heat, it seems that us TTRPG commentary folks just cannot escape the burning fury of the Dark Sun nonsense. I'm calling it the dim outdoor space heater because it is now all but certain that it has been toned down so much that it will replace brutal oppression with mild discomfort. Typical WotC ballless pandering nonsense, and if rumors are true, shots fired from the whiny activists that ruined 5e at the icon creators contracted to save the sinking ship. But we all know that there is one guy not only playing violin on the deck of the Titanic, but telling everyone that they will arrive in New York shortly. And that is none other than the WotC supplicant, J. Scott Garibay. This guy is so completely oblivious to the reality around him. Newbie DM posted, "I for one am happy about WotC protecting me from potentially being made uncomfortable by disturbing content." This post is dripping with sarcasm that you can taste. You don't need to look at his timeline to grasp that. Well, you don't unless you're Garibay. This moron replies with, "Finally, someone acknowledging 90s Dark Sun has serious issues, and the changes WotC is making are needed. The relaunch removes problematic material that should not have been there." This is the kind of dumbass that would remove slavery from history books and gets offended when someone says they're excited to get a new Negro League baseball jersey that they ordered. His fawning stupidity is the perfect storm formed when the updraft of WotC farts he's sniffing contacts the downward pressure of the need to fall to his knees and pray toward Seattle 5 times a day. No, you clown. WotC does not know how to handle material, mature or otherwise, until they fire everyone in the primary D&D design team, from the mailroom to the brainless mutants responsible for the Book of Many Things, Strixhaven, and basically everything post-2014. WotC will continue to fail in every measurable regard until they do that. It is painful to watch the impressive contortions necessary to allow Garibay to have his head both up his own ass and WotC's, and yet still find a clear camera angle to let us all look up his nose into his empty skull 6 or 7 times a day. Of course, sadly, Garibay is not alone in trying to excuse and defend the incompetence of the coast. He has a friend in Mephistopheles. No, not the Devil Prince, the moron using his name as a handle on X. This guy thought he was going to educate the grognards on what sensitivity readers are, and for his efforts, he is getting dragged like a 200-yard steam shovel bucket. I really need you people to understand that all a sensitivity reader actually is an editor with more experience in a given subject. Their job is to look for unintentional bias, harmful stereotypes, and gross portrayals that can be deemed offensive. Well, first off, thanks to people like this dimwit, they're obsolete. Everything's offensive, so why hire a professional offended person to tell you that? Of course, this mental midget isn't just wrong, he's also disingenuous. You see, he's trying to use a much older, far less accurate, and certainly dated definition of a sensitivity reader. What he's describing is an academic sensitivity reader that would be there to review, say, a sociology or anthropology paper. Perhaps even a work of historical fiction. What they do now is functionally take bribes to keep the professionally offended outrage mobs from coming to your door. Athos isn't a real world. None of the cultures exist. There are no halflings to offend or orc cultures to misrepresent. This is the same racist idiocy that gave us orcs or black people. And yes, I said racist, because that's what it is. You projecting black people onto orcs in order to be offended on their behest is racism. So I guess sensitivity readers are just professional bigots making sure you ruin a game on behalf of a culture that you projected onto a culture that doesn't exist just so you can get paid for it. And we have a word for that. Grifter. We also have a word for you. Dumbass. And there's also a word for what I need. BC headache powder. See you guys next time.